Welcome back to another session of Nourish to Flourish with yours truly, Megan the Trainer, Registered Dietitian. And today's session is going to be specifically for the ladies. Now, I feel like a lot of my talks are usually for the ladies, but this one's specifically looking at some women's hormonal things because maybe this aligns with you as well. Maybe you haven't changed anything. Maybe you haven't changed your diet. You haven't changed your activity. You haven't changed your stress levels in life, but all of a sudden maybe your body feels more achy, you have more brain fog, maybe your labs are coming back where your cholesterol is starting to go in directions that it really shouldn't go, maybe your A1C is starting to kind of creep up as well. We're seeing some of these changes that are happening without thinking that we're really doing anything to prompt them because we've been doing same old. Well, here's probably what's going on is, of course, the joys of the double X chromosome of having some changes in estrogen and progesterone.
Double X squad forever.
Yeah, buddy. 2 chromosomes, twice the drama, twice the fun.
I mean, look at estrogen. One minute I'm a spring meadow, the next I'm a full-on soap opera.
And then progesterone swoops in like chill girl, but actually makes me need 3 naps and a chocolate bar.
Even if you aren't like quite in menopause season, we can still see some of these changes and fluctuations happening even as we get closer to that perimenopause stage, even without, again, being full-blown menopause, so to say. But I'm going to talk about what kinds of things estrogen and progesterone have, kind of like tabs in, so to say, and therefore what you can do from a food perspective to help kind of lessen the blow as we have different changes in fluctuations with estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen is kind of our queen bee female reproductive hormone, and it plays a role in our heart health in that it helps our blood vessels be elastic and be flexible, and it also plays kind of a modulator or a regulator of our cholesterol. So this is where we can see changes in blood pressure and cholesterol lab levels just because of what estrogen is doing within the body. So some things that we can do from a food perspective is we can emphasize those omega-3s, so coming from like fatty fish, nuts and seeds, as well as supporting fiber, so getting a lot of whole grains, legumes, non-starchy vegetables, or even like fruit that has like the skin, the peel on it. And then again, like my biggest go-tos are always like flaxseed and chia seeds as well. That's a nice like double dip of fiber and omega-3s. So that's from a heart health perspective. Estrogen is also very protective of our bones. So this is where we can see that as women, as we age, as we see a decline in estrogen, we can see how that can influence the reshaping of our bones. So this is where, yes, it's important to get calcium coming in, but this is where I get to take my dietitian hat off and put my trainer hat on, and you got to lift heavy things. So get into the gym, pick the heavy weights because we need that stimulus in your body in order to prompt laying down more bone material. So that's the second thing that estrogen does. Another thing is that it's going to play a role in appetite and body composition. So making sure that we are getting protein at all of our meals, somewhere between 25 to 30 grams of protein. We're getting some fiber to help with satiation. And we're being mindful of our carbs, not like a complete elimination of them, but estrogen is going to support our insulin sensitivity. So as it declines, we can have, our body just can't quite tolerate carbohydrates as well as it once did. Again, not to say that we need to go completely low carb or carb avoidant, but you know it, no naked carbs.
Whoa there, carbs. Where do you think you're going? Streaking through the streets like that? Just flour and water, nothing else. It's not healthy to be running around naked. Put something on. A little fiber, a touch of protein, maybe some color. You need balance.
The last thing, again, comes from a mood, a neurotransmitter support like serotonin and dopamine influencing your mood and motivation. So this is where it's going to be important, kind of pivoting a little bit away from food, but getting some sunshine, going for a walk, moving your body in ways that feel good, and implementing like really good stress kind of coping skills. But now again, this is going to be kind of specific to you and what kinds of things are actually going to fill your cup, because those things might look different than what fills my cup. So those are some things from an estrogen perspective. Now, progesterone, this one is the hormone that is kind of more predominant during the second half of our menstrual cycle. It's really predominant during pregnancy as well. And this has a very calming, relaxing kind of vibe to it. So this is where like sleep can be really tricky. This is where coping with stress, it just feels like stressors are way harder than they should be. But this is where we can, again, not only implement just our coping skills and self-care skills, but this is where like maybe like a magnesium glycinate might be kind of helpful. We can get this from leafy greens, from nuts as well. But estrogen and progesterone have to kind of be in a good balance, and this is going to be important for supporting a healthy menstrual cycle and also just like a healthy endometrial lining as well. But some things that we can do from a nutrition perspective to kind of support this is just support our general detox pathways. So we're supporting our liver, we're supporting our kidneys, we're supporting our GI tract. Those are kind of the big ways that our body filters and removes things. So from a liver perspective, we can emphasize some B vitamins, we can emphasize cruciferous vegetables, we can emphasize fiber coming in, and with kidneys we can make sure that we're staying hydrated. And then from a GI perspective, again, fiber is going to play another big role. So just because this season of life feels like, again, your body is not your own and it's kind of doing things that it wants without really your permission or without your intervention behind it, hopefully this at least gets you at least started on a couple of things that you can do. If you have more questions or if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this and look at what that plan might look like for you with some of the things that you're experiencing, like, let me know. Let's get a blueprint session put together and I can get you some strategies that will hopefully help you feeling a lot better as well. Now that you know better, let's go out and do better so we can all be better.